This is the Jamboard practice assignment for the summative test review from 2-1 to 2-4. For number 1, right now we're dividing x by -2. So to solve, we're going to multiply both sides by -2. Now we just multiplied both sides by a negative number, so we need to make sure we flip the inequality symbol. So it's going to turn from less than to greater than. So the solution is x is greater than -12. Make sure your number line is increasing, meaning going from smallest to largest. Open at -12, greater than, so we shade to the right. For number 2, which is number 8 on the review, we want to collect all variable terms to the left side and the numbers on the right side. And in order to move these terms, we have to either add or subtract them, depending if they're positive or negative. So to move 6x to the left, right now it's positive, so we have to subtract it from both sides. Next up, we want to move that +6 to the right. Right now we're adding it, so to move it, we need to subtract it. Last up, we're multiplying x by -2. So the final step to solve is to divide both sides by -2. We divided both sides by a negative number, so we want to make sure we flip the inequality symbol. It's going to be closed at 13 because 13 is included in the possible solutions. And we're going to shade to the left, all values less than or equal to. Number 3 has a lot of fractions, so we want to eliminate the fractions as our first step to solve. We want to first find the least common multiple of the 3 denominators. The denominators are 8, 4, and 2. So always look at the largest number and see, is that a multiple of the 2 smaller? And in fact, it is. So the least common multiple is 8, 4, of 8, 4, and 2 is 8. So now we want to take each of the terms and multiply them by 8 in order to eliminate the fractions. You can use a calculator here, or you can cross cancel. 8 over 8 is 1 over 1. 8 over 4 is 2 over 1. Didn't like how that 2 looked. Eight over 2 is 4 over 1. So now if you notice, all of the denominators are now 1. So we have, in fact, eliminated all of the fractions, and now it's going to be so much easier to solve. 3x times 1 is 3x. 1 times 2 is 2. 3x times 4 is 12x. -2 times 8 is -16. So now we're back to where we were with number 2, where we want to get variables to the left and the numbers to the right. We have a positive 12x on the right, so in order to move it to the left, we have to subtract it. We're adding 2 on the left, so we have to subtract 2 from both sides. And lastly, we're multiplying x by negative 9, so we want to divide both sides by negative 9 to finish solving. And that's the step that requires us to flip the inequality symbol because we divided both sides by a negative number. So we end up with x is less than 2. So that would be open at 2, less than, shaded to the left. For number 4, it's number 1 and number 2 on your review homework. And we just want to write each sentence as an inequality. So we're basically translating from word form to algebraic form. For number 1, the difference, that's subtraction. So then it tells us, what are we subtracting? We're subtracting a number x and 6, and this has to be greater than or equal to 11. And that's it. For 2, the word sum means addition. And what are we adding? We're adding a number w and 4, and it can be no more than. So it can't be greater than, but it can be less than or equal to. Okay, and last up we have a word problem. We're just going to write the inequality as we read. Your local bank offers free checking for accounts with a balance of at least $500. Suppose you have a balance of $516 and you write a check for $31. We want to write and solve an inequality that represents how much you must deposit to avoid being charged a service fee. So we have a balance of $516, so start with that. We write a check for $31. That means that the money needs to be subtracted from our balance, but it may not be subtracted from the actual account until that check is cashed. We always want to accommodate for any checks you write. Now, we want to find how much we have to deposit to this amount that's in our account, and depositing would be the same as adding. So we want to find how much we have to add. We don't know yet, so plus x. Now, this represents the balance in our account. We want this to be at least, meaning greater than or equal to, $500. So there's the inequality that represents what just happened. And now let's solve. Combine like terms. 516 minus 31 is 485. And to solve, we'll subtract 485. So we need to deposit or add at least $15 to avoid being charged that service fee. That's it for the review Jamboard practice assignment. You have a summative coming up. The summative is on sections 2-1, which is one-step inequalities, through 2-4, which is multi-step inequalities.